How is it going, everyone? It's K-Lumity here, and today we are going to be talking about the game Miraculous, Ladybug, and Cat Noir: Rise of the Sphinx. Now, we are going to be talking about this game on the Xbox Series X, because that's the console I have it on. However, it is pretty much on every single platform that is currently out. So, let's talk about this game for a little bit. So, this game is based off the French superhero television cartoon of the same name. And I'm actually a pretty big fan of that show. I think the show's pretty good. I've even read the comic that came out for it. It wasn't a very big comic. It was only like a 4-issue comic series that came out for it. But I actually enjoy it quite a bit. I think the series is a lot of fun. I like the characters. I like the fact that it's set in France. I just think that's a cool place for a superhero show to take place in. And I really like the French voice acting that's in the cartoon as well. And something that's really nice is that you can actually swap the audio in this game to the French voice acting. And I really was happy about that. I was kind of worried at first. I was just like, am I going to have to listen to the English voice acting this entire time? But no, you luckily can swap it over to the French audio, which was a huge plus for me because I love the French voice acting for this. I think that everyone who does it is fantastic. I don't know if it's the same people who are in the show or not, but either way, they sound like they are, and it is a just absolutely fantastic job in terms of voice acting. That is an absolute positive. And let me just go ahead and get the positives out of the way right now. Another positive is the fact that it does get the look of the show right. It definitely looks like you're playing the show. You know, it looks like you're watching it, but you're playing it. In terms of the actual characters and everything, the characters act just like how they do in the show. The stories are scenarios that you would see in the show. Everything that you see in this game really is true to the show, and that's something I really appreciated as well. Now, some of the problems that we'll get into, which are unfortunate because I want to like this game more, but definitely has some issues that I have to talk about. First things first, it doesn't run very well. And that's a pretty big deal considering I'm playing it on the Series X. I'm playing it on, the most powerful home console available, and it still has problems running. And it's not even a graphically taxing game, so I don't feel like there should be any reason for it to have problems running. But I noticed severe slowdown in the gameplay. There's frame drops, there's just the characters will start moving really slow, there's a whole lot of bugs and issues with how this game runs. And I don't really understand how there could be, because this game just isn't graphically taxing whatsoever. In fact, the graphics are pretty underwhelming. While it may look like the show when you're playing it and you get used to it and it kind of looks like the show and everything like that, like I said, it's very true to the show. However, the graphics are muddy in places. And when you see those muddy graphics, it's very noticeable, and it kind of takes you out of it. Because while it feels like you're playing the show, it feels like you're watching the show, but, you're playing this game of it instead. While it immerses you into that world, as soon as you see one of those muddy spots, it kind of snaps you out of it, and you're just like, ew, you could have easily fixed that. Why did you leave it like that? There's a lot of stuff like that in this game, unfortunately, where you just see muddy textures and just things that I feel like could have been easily fixed that were just kind of ignored, and that's kind of a problem. I wish that would have been addressed before the game launched, but it is what it is. The gameplay itself, it's pretty basic. It's kind of like a beat-em-up game, classic beat-em-up game. You basically are smashing buttons to do combos and fight enemies. The combos aren't anything crazy, just smash an X or whatever. You can do some dodges and stuff, and you can jump around the enemies to confuse them and stuff like that. So there are some different things you can do. You can unlock new abilities, and you also get to upgrade each character. You get to upgrade their health. You get to upgrade their damage capability. You get to upgrade just a whole bunch of stuff with these characters. And I think that's really cool. I like that you have to go around and collect all these orbs, and these orbs are basically what you spend to upgrade your character. So this is like, it has that collectathon element into it where you're collecting these orbs and you're collecting these like little what are they called? They're the little French cookies, macaroons. You're collecting macaroons, and I like that you're collecting these and there's actually a point to it. It's not like, you're just collecting for the sake of collecting them. You're collecting them because it allows you to unlock more stuff. So, the orbs get you your upgrades, the macaroons will get you secrets like, concept art, music that you can listen to in the menu, and stuff like that. So I thought that was at least nice that they give you some sort of reward for actually going out of your way and finding the stuff, other than just, 100% completing the game. So that was nice. And I do like the upgrading system. I think that's pretty good for the first playthrough. However, when you go into New Game Plus, because that is an option after you beat the game, you are able to go and play New Game Plus with all your abilities and replay through the game. It really makes the game way too easy. Like, the game's not difficult anyway, but it starts becoming, basically a one-hit takedown on every single enemy. It becomes basically just a walk in the park at that point. Like, I've gotten to the point where my characters are so powerful now, literally, each enemy takes one hit. Even the boss fights, I hit the enemy twice, and half their health is gone already. It's just like, okay, well, this kind of takes out the fun at this point, So that's a little bit of a bummer. I think they could have done that part better because, boost the enemy difficulty with New Game Plus. When I think New Game Plus, I think more difficulty as well. I don't think of just a reset of the game. I think, oh, it's going to boost the difficulty, but it doesn't boost the difficulty whatsoever. In fact, it just becomes way too easy. And maybe, I haven't actually even seen a game that has a New Game Plus where they don't raise the difficulty at all. This is the first time I've seen that, but maybe it's because I'm used to playing games like, I've played Dark Souls and stuff, and whenever you beat Dark Souls, you get the New Game Plus option and stuff like that. So maybe that's the reason why, but I'm just so not used to it at all. But either way, it is what it is. Overall, this game does some things that I like, and it has a lot of problems still, though. I think that this is a very faithful adaptation of Miraculous, Ladybug, and Cat Noir. I just wish that it ran better. I just wish that more time was taken to just make sure the bugs were all ironed out. I wish that they would have taken some time and just thought more about the replay value of this game and stuff like that. While there is replay value there in terms of if you want to 100% the game and get all the achievements, it just... that replay value just isn't good enough to me. And there's other options that are there that are neat that they're there, but they just don't do much, Like, there's an entire dialogue option where you basically can make friends with the characters, but it doesn't really do anything, You can just make friends with them and it will boost your friendship ratings with each character, and you can max them out, but it doesn't really do anything for you. It just basically is another way to get another achievement. So it doesn't really do much. It's kind of a pointless feature, which is unfortunate because they could have done something really cool with that, like unlockable characters or something, but that feature is kind of useless, which was a little bit upsetting. But overall, I think the game is still fun, but I think that you have to be a fan of the show to enjoy it. I'm going to have to give this game 2 different scores. If you are not a fan of the show and you pick this game up and play it, it's probably a 4 out of 10. I can honestly say that if you are not a fan of the show, you're probably not going to enjoy this. In fact, you're probably going to think that this is a bad game. However, if you are a fan of the show, like I am, if you are a fan of the source material, if you're a fan of even the comic, if you've read the comic for it, if you're a fan of that stuff, I think that you will enjoy it. I think that you will still be disappointed with some of the bugs and the issues, and I don't recommend paying $50 for this game. I would say probably 20 is better, unless a patch comes in that fixes it. Because, this game isn't very long either. This game is only probably like 3-4 hours long. So, keep that in mind when you're getting this. So, but if you are a fan of the series, then I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. I'm a fan of it, so I enjoyed it a little bit more. Even though I know it has problems, I'm able to enjoy it because of the fact that it is part of a series I enjoy. But if it wasn't part of Miraculous Ladybug, then yeah, I would not enjoy this nearly as much. So yeah, 6 out of 10 for people who are familiar with the source material, 4 out of 10 for those who are not. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe button down below. Sorry if I sounded a little bit funny this video. I am still dealing with a cold. I'm working on getting over it. So hopefully next video I will sound completely back to normal. Fingers crossed. I'll talk to you next time. Y'all have a fantastic day.